Okay, now we'll start from three organs of government. First one is legislature, second one is executive, third one is judiciary. So the legislature, they make the law, they involve in the law making process, and for the executive, they implement the law, and the judiciary, they interpret. So in after 1773, after 1773, the first regulating act, so they introduced. So we have at that time we have three presidencies, like it is India. Okay. So here is the Bengal presidency. Bengal. Here is the Madras presidency. And here is the Bombay presidency. Okay. So like before that, and they both have executive and legislative power. Okay, so it means it is decentralized before 1770, but after the first regulating act, they made that legislative power of Bombay presidency and Madras presidency was started going towards Bengal governor. Okay, so now like means the power is here, that is the power is centralized. Towards the Bengal presidency. Okay, so then the Bengal governor given a new name called as, or new designation. Okay, new designation called as the Governor General of Bengal. The first Governor General was Warren Hastings. Okay, first Governor General was Warren Hastings. But first the first governor was Thomas Smith when the EIC was started. Okay, but the first Governor General was Warren Hastings. Okay. So this act also led to the foundation led to the foundation of centralized administration in India. Okay, led to the foundation of the centralized administration in India, which means that they started to centralize administration at one place. Okay, so the Governor General of Bengal now has, okay, now it has 4-member council under it, 4-member executive council. Okay, 4-member executive council, also known as the Kolkata Council. Okay, also known as Kolkata Council, or the Council of Four, or Council of Four, or the Governor General in Council. Okay, there is a function to assist Governor General of Bengal. Okay, they have legislative functions also. They have the legislative functions also. Then what happened? In the governance, first governance, like and another thing, Governor General, including the 4-member council, now they are 5. Okay, so for a decision, for anything to be decided by them, they require a majority, like majority, that is voting. Okay, so this led to the preventing to give full power to the Governor General of Bengal, because the Governor General are the member council were actually they are selected by the Court of Proprietors. Okay, so it make okay, and also in 1774, okay, and the first time in India a Supreme Court was established. Supreme Court was established in Kolkata. Okay, Supreme Court was established in Kolkata, including the Chief Justice. Okay, the Chief Justice plus 3 other judges under the 1773 Act. The first Chief Justice was Sir Elijah Impey. He was too close close to the then Governor General Warren Hastings. Okay, so it's very close to Warren Hastings. And this act prohibited the officers of the EIC to involve in any of the private trade or corruption. Okay, so now the British government have the court of directors under them. But the court of directors were chosen by the court of proprietors. That was the drawback. We'll discuss further. Okay. So, but here they have the function of check and balance. Okay, function of check and balance, that if the officers were well, like they're not corrupting or doing something. Okay, these were the governing body of the company and it was also the answerable authority. Okay, so to report on its revenue, civil, military in India. So they have to report. Okay, they have to report British government on its revenue, civil, military in India. So now the analysis of Act 1773. Analysis. So what we analyze from this? First we'll discuss the limitation. What are the drawbacks and limitation of this act? This act was a big failure. This act was a big failure. Okay, this was a big failure. Like there is no separation of power. Why? Because there is no separation of power. Okay, because anyone is interfering in anything. Okay, so there is no separation power. If some officer is included in something, the court also, if the court involving in that matter, suppose there is some issue in of civil population, the court is also involving and the officers are also involving, so there is no separation power. Like who will control what? There is no separation. So authority was not specified. Why? As I have said that authority was not specified means the Governor General of Bengal has not given full power. But for a decision you have to get the majority, and majority were by the council members. The council members was they were selected or hired by the court of proprietors. So which made them very difficult. Okay, so the Governor General is not independent to take any decision. But there is also conflict. Okay, conflict between the judiciary and the executive. Okay, and the executive. And also another thing was that the code, okay, the Supreme Court, it followed the code followed British personal law, British law, okay, British law, for which there is riots or there is problem between Hindu and Muslim, which they want to be judged by their personal laws, okay, by their personal laws. The Governor General and the Council have the conflict in decision making due to varying decision majority. Okay, as I've said that. Okay, now the Governor General of Bengal and the Bombay Governor and the Madras Governor were subordinate too, but they are not doing so. Like in this act says that the executive power were given to the executive power was given to the first the executive all the executive powers were given to the legislative power was given to the Governor General of Bengal. Okay, but given they should act as they should act as a subordinate, but they are not doing so. Okay, they are not doing so. They are working independently. They were working. Okay, they were working independently. Okay, independently, which was against the act. Which was against the act. This was also a major drawback. And also the EIC doesn't cooperate. EIC power were decreased, so they didn't even cooperate with the British government. Okay. So there was a after this, due to these problems, the British government made some amendment